Scooby-Doo! Okay, friends, this is it. With Scoob premiering on Video On Demand tomorrow, I am about to bring to you my review of the very first theatrical Scooby-Doo movie right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Duel, better known to y'all as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2002 live-action computer animated adventure comedy film Scooby-Doo, released by Warner Brothers and directed by Raja Gosnell, who recently directed Big Mama's House a couple of years before this. Now, of course, this is based on the Hanna-Barbera franchise of the same name. Anyway, and James Gunn, yes, as in the guy who gave us the Guardians of the Galaxy series, did the screenplay for this. The film stars Freddie Prinze Jr. along with Sarah Michelle Gellar, Matthew Lillard, Linda Cardellini, and Rowan Atkinson. Now, the plot revolves around those meddling kids of Mystery Incorporated, and their Great Dane, Scooby-Doo, who solve mysteries, who reunite after a 2-year disbandment to investigate a mystery on a popular horror-themed resort. Now then, while this film may have gotten dissed by critics and fans of this, I completely do understand, but I, on the other hand, actually do have a little respect for the movie, though, despite it's been years since I last watched this movie, but I can tell you, it's pretty fun in some ways. So, you ready for this? Here we go. Now, after our intro, of course, we see, I believe Scooby take a bite out of the Warner Bros. Shield, and then it turns around and reveals Scooby's logo and replaces a Time Warner company, or AOL Time Warner. I think Warner was still under license. AOL was still owned by AOL. Time Warner was, and then it was changed as the Mystery Inc. company. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we start out at this here toy factory, and the gang's going after the Luna ghost. Apparently, they're getting into so much craziness and what have you. Fred's just kind of trying to look at himself and what have you, or something, just trying to be like a hero and what have you, while Velma is trying to give him word to set up the trap, while Daphne's the damsel in distress, and Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are just up to their old tricks. They really get into a real fun scene and capture the Luna ghost, and soon their vehicle, the Mystery Machine, comes bursting in, and out comes Pamela Anderson in a cameo appearance. And we reveal that the Luna ghost is in fact Old Man Smithers. Yep. But anyway, Fred ends up being a glory hog, takes all the credit, not giving Velma the credit she needs for her ideas and what have you. And Daphne's fed up with being kidnapped at every mystery too. Well, apparently this all boils over and the gang breaks up, leaving their hippie friend Shaggy Rogers and his canine companion Scooby-Doo heartbroken and the care of the Mystery Machine. Now, 2 years later, they are invited to solve a mystery on the popular resort Spooky Island. But they say they don't want to go near anything spooky or whatever and what have you. But, however, after being promised an all-you-can-eat deal, they are convinced. Yeah, and soon we see Fred arrived at the airport, and Velma's there, and she's surprised to see Fred. And well, Fred's all over the circuit with his book, Fred on Fred. Yeah. And Velma reveals she's been working at NASA and what have you. Well, you'll find out that it's not what you think if you see a deleted scene of it. I do have that on video cassette because it has deleted scenes on there. So let me see, where was it? Oh yes. And soon they come to the main gate, and they see Daphne. He's like, "Oh no, I'm not talking to you guys." And yeah, it's like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And Velma's like, "Isn't it obvious? We all received the same letter from one Emil Mondavarius, the reclusive owner of Spooky Island." Daphne's like, "It's not fair. I wanted to solve a mystery on my own." It's like, "Well, what are you gonna do when you get kidnapped?" It's like, "I'm a black belt now. I've transformed my body into a dangerous weapon." They're just kind of snickers. Like, "It's true." And Shaggy up is like far out. I guess we're like all going to Spooky Island together. Velma's like, "Hey, where's Scooby?" And soon we see Scooby dressed up in old lady's clothes. Everybody's there, and I like this little girl, and Shaggy's like, "They don't allow big dogs on the plane." Velma's like, "You have got to be kidding." Daphne's just like, "Nobody's gonna believe that." Fred's like, "Who's the old lady?" Say hello to Grandma. Oh boy, what else there on the plane? It's crazy, especially when Scooby starts barking at this person's can. Why are you out? Shaggy leaves him to talk to this here chick, Mary Jane, who is played by Isla Fisher, who of course would later go on to star in some pretty good movies, most notably Wedding Crashers. Whew. But anyway, despite Shaggy and Scooby's happiness, but the other three still refuse to work with each other, though. But so when Shaggy's getting acquainted with Mary Jane, Scooby sits with Velma and Fred. And he starts barking at this here cat, and Velma's like, "Grandma?" It's like, "Wait, hey, Scooby?" Gives him a flick on the nose. But Scooby knocks Fred, and boy, Scooby jumps out of his clothes and starts going after that cat. It's like, "Bang, Grandma, don't eat the kitty." That's what Shaggy's like. Oh, crazy. Also, here's something else Mary Jane, who absolutely loves Scooby snacks, and she knows they're for dogs, but unfortunately she's allergic to dogs. Yeah, I mean, whether you know it or not, years back while Scooby-Doo was being popular, there was one character that was actually allergic to dogs, except it was a computer named Mr. Socrates on another Hanna-Barbera cartoon called Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids in 1973. You better believe it, my friends. And believe me, every time he sees their dog Elvis, he's just like, I just laugh my head off at that. Okay, enough about that. Back to Scooby-Doo the movie. So, upon arriving at Spooky Island, the gang meets Mondavarius, played by British actor Rowan Atkinson. Most of y'all know him as Mr. Bean, and of course later on Johnny English. Well, he claims the visiting tourists have been cursed into a brainwashed state. So, Velma attends a ritualistic performance hosted by Ingu Tuana and his henchman Zarkos, a famous luchador. And Ingu claims the island was once ruled by ancient demons that had been plotting their revenge ever since they were displaced when Mondavarius built the resort. Because of a misunderstanding when talking to a local voodoo priest played by Miguel Nunez Jr. That's right, you heard me correctly. A lot of you horror fanatics know him. The Return of the Living Dead, and of course Demon from Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, and of course I also saw him in Slam Dunk Ernest. Yeah. So, with the help of Daphne, she decides to take Shaggy and Scooby into the resort's ghost ride and what have you, and yeah. I mean, I just loved Daphne always gets into would you do it for a Scooby snack? Oh, I mean, I love that part in almost a lot of the old school Scooby-Doo Where Are You episodes. It was also sometimes Fred who did that. But Daphne would do it, maybe Velma. I know Daphne will always give Scooby a Scooby snack, yeah, pup named Scooby-Doo, but oh, that's another story. Anyway, soon they encounter Fred and then Velma. And Fred decided to go to what they do best, like, let's split up and search for clues. Yeah, he would go with Daphne, but Velma gets upset. So he tells Daphne to exit the building. He and Velma would investigate, and he tells Shaggy and Scooby, do whatever you guys do. So they come across a strange school designed to educate inhuman creatures about human culture. Daphne discovers a pyramid-shaped artifact called the Daemon Rias. Well, apparently, things are just taking a good turn, but unfortunately for Shaggy and Scooby, it turned into a belching and tooting contest, unleashing the gas and what have ya. Like, are you trying to challenge me? Maybe. Yeah. And one Shaggy lets out a big toot, big time. It's like, he's trying to get him to say, I'm not going to stop until you're first, stand stop. And Daphne's right there. She can't believe it. It's like, we're here to solve a mystery? Oh boy. And Shaggy and Scooby's friendship's starting to break up a little bit, but anyway. They soon manage to figure out things, and soon they hide from some mysterious figures, and then they flee to the hotel. However, an army of real demons attack, kidnapping Fred, Velma, Mondavarius, and other tourists, while Scooby, Shaggy, Daphne, and Mary Jane escape. The next day, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby have learned that the demons have possessed Fred, Velma, and other tourists. Well, apparently, all that stuff occurs, and actually, when we actually get to see a scene where Fred's partying with some other dudes and what have you, and I gotta tell you, we actually get a bit of a special appearance by the band Sugar Ray. I'm sure you remember them. You know, you've heard their songs, Fly, Every Morning, those songs. Yeah. Oh yeah, something else funny occurs. Scooby's trying to get taken down the picture by a mysterious call one night, and what have you. Yeah, and this dude's trying to call for a Mr. Dude. And some dude named Melvin Dude is going, yeah. Well, anyways, Daphne is soon captured by Zarkos, back to where I was, who steals the Daemon Rias. So Shaggy and Scooby encounter Mary Jane, which they escape on these ATVs, but unfortunately, Scooby realizes she's possessed as well. So Shaggy begins to argue with his old friend, but is interrupted when he falls through a hole into an underground chamber. While searching for him, Shaggy discovers a vat of protoplasm containing the souls of those possessed. He frees his captured friend's souls. Unfortunately, Daphne and Fred's souls end up in each other's bodies, which is absolutely hysterical. Yeah, it turns out they've been taken by these weird bighorn purple creatures that are, well, sunlight's their weakness. Yes, just like gremlins, except they don't melt, you know. So, well, Velma discovers that the demons can be destroyed by the sunlight. Shaggy steals back the demon rights, which randomly switches his and the souls all up. I like the first time Daphne gets hers back. Hey, I'm me again. And Fred says in Velma's voice, yippee for you. Uh, and so, and Velma and Shaggy's was like, oh man, why am I wearing a dress? Oh, it's crazy. But soon it finally end all up in the correct buys. Soon they come across a voodoo priest who explains that the demons whose leader turns out to be Mondavarius will rule the world for the next 10,000 years if a pure soul is offered as a sacrifice during the ritual. Shaggy realizes the pure soul is Scooby, who unwillingly accepts to be the sacrifice. Having no idea what a sacrifice is, while curious on why Mondavarius invited them to, Fred, Daphne, and Velma decide to put the Luna Ghost mystery behind them in order to help Shaggy save Scooby. So, now I'm going to get to the final act, the ending. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to sub this video, go to the description box, and fast forward to the time to avoid ending spoilers. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, you've been warned. So, the gang plot a trap to defeat the demon cult. But it fails and only Daphne escapes capture. So Mondavarius steals Scooby's soul using the demon Reyes. But Shaggy then pushes him, causing Scooby's soul to be released. As Fred and Velma confront the defeated Mondavarius, they find out that he is wearing a mask. But when Fred peels the mask off, they discover it's a robot. It speaks and turns out to be, you're not going to believe this, Scooby's nephew, the estranged nephew, our real main antagonist, Scrappy-Doo, who Velma tells the story about him being a troublemaker, being mischievous and what have you. Unlike in the, much more than he was in the old Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo cartoons that came out in 1979, going into up to the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo in 1985. Yeah, until the three TV movies, which they did, which were the last appearances when Scrappy was good in ways. Not too much bad and what have you. You know, those were Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, and Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, which of course is my favorite animated Scooby-Doo movie. No offense to everyone who liked movies like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, etc. Now where was I? Who of course Scrappy was abandoned by the gang years ago after he took a leak on Daphne and attempted to take over Mystery Incorporated. Yeah. So, using the absorbed souls of the tourists, Scrappy transforms into the monstrous Scrappiest Rex, I believe it was called, and tries to kill the gang, explaining that he brought them to the island so he could get revenge on them. Just Neil also, and all he needed now was he screamed, Scooby-Doo! And like, wait, don't you mean Melvin-Doo? Well, soon we get into some action and we hear a rocking version of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song, which I'm not sure. I don't remember this. Let me give me a second. Oh yeah, it's done by the band MXPX. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to see who. Yeah, I was trying to see this and what have you. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, on the mountaintop, Danny is attacked by Zarkos again, but defeats him by kicking him into the ritual chamber. This frees the possessed souls, and the demons are exposed to a disco skull sunlight reflection and die real quickly. Shaggy rips the demon rest from Scrappy's body with this machine and what have you to free the rest, and finds out that the real Mondavarius was imprisoned in a small underground cell. While Scrappy, Ingu, Zarkos, and all the minions are arrested, that says he would he'd get away with not for you Melon Sons. We knew what he was going to say. That, and he was shocked. And well, the gang was all reunited, promised to solve mysteries forever. Yep, and so that's how it goes. But I'm not quite finished yet. As we actually get into hearing another good song on the soundtrack, "Scooby-Doo" by the Baha Men, the group behind "Who Let the Dogs Out." We see as the end credits begin to roll, Scooby and Shaggy are finally enjoying the all-you-can-eat deal they were promised at the hotel. Yeah, and boy, I love it when Shaggy says, "There's no other person I'd rather eat with than you, Scooby-Doo." Yeah, it's like my best friend. Like, you're my best friend too. Yeah, you want to be able to have pizza. And he has a chili pepper. I'm like, zoinks! Yeah, I didn't know he said his famous catchphrase. Those chili peppers are hot. Like, whip. Scooby's like, so. So Shaggy gives him the jar of chili peppers, and Scooby devours the entire amount of chili peppers in that jar. Oh boy! Gives him more. Grabs Scooby's tongue, squirts ketchup on it. Oh, that was funny. So let's get two more and have some. Yeah, and they decide to have a little fun on the count of three, and they go for it, and they freak out as smoke emerges from the hotel. And we get the rest of our credits and and with another good song from the soundtrack, "The Land of a Million Drums," done by Outkast. And that's the end. Well then, what did I think of Scooby-Doo? Well, I'm gonna say it wasn't too bad of a movie. It has its moments, but I feel it's got a little bit of fun factor and what have you. So, and anyway, I really do love this movie. Even though it's been some time since I last saw it, but I think it's a pretty funny movie. It's like I said, the movie has a few more ups and downs. I mean, I like Freddie Prinze Jr. He wasn't too bad. Sarah Michelle Gellar, not too bad. Linda Cardellini, on the other hand, I liked her performance as Velma, and Matthew Lillard did real good as Shaggy. And of course, he actually currently voices Shaggy to this day because he took over the role after Casey Kasem retired before his death in the animated Scooby movies and series. I liked Rowan Atkinson, but I did like the other cast members. Absolutely good. Ala Fisher was real good. Miguel Hernandez Jr. as the Voodoo Maestro. There's Sam Greco as Zarkos and Stephen Grease as Ingu Tuana. Yeah. Neil Fanning, who voices Scooby-Doo, not too bad. So, anyway, now, despite the movie got this, it was still a box office hit over the summer of 2002. Of course, later on, this movie was so successful that later that same year, Scooby returned to Saturday mornings after being absent for a decade since a pup named Scooby-Doo ended. And What's New, Scooby-Doo? Which that was a big redemption after so many misses and what have you. I mean, he did appear in lots of our animated movies, of course, like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island and what have you. But anyway, 2002, that's when the series went back to the way I remember it. Even though Fred had a different shirt on, not wear his famous ascot. Okay, but now, the question is, would I recommend Scooby-Doo? Yes. Go ahead, give it a try. Well, if you weren't big on this, get your kids to watch it. I mean, that'd be fun with me to watch that. Okay, and after this, 2 years later, there will be a direct sequel called Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, which I'll be reviewing this weekend. And of course, tomorrow will be a big one, Scoob. But anyway, that's going to do it for my review of Scooby-Doo. What did you think of the movie? Please feel free to tell me in the comments below. Like and subscribe to my channel. Click the like button if you like this. Subscribe as well and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me again tomorrow when I review the brand new movie, despite we aren't getting in theaters, Scoob. Which of course will be a spoiler-free review, which I am doing with these new movies and what have you. Try not to spoil everything. Sorry everyone, I was trying to do something. But anyway, thanks for watching. Now, if you liked what you saw, you can check out some of these recent videos. Now, if you wanted some more movies done by Ronald John Gosnell, go to the upper left-hand corner for my review of The Smurfs, which he did in 2011. In the upper right-hand corner is my review of Big Mama's House, which he did a couple of years before Scooby-Doo. And as an extra, the bottom left-hand corner is my recent review of Mr. Nanny with Hulk Hogan, which I did a couple of days ago. And of course, the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!